you said we must part, darling, you broke my heart. I was drifting like a ship lost at sea. In a world of despair.
Hey, there you are.
Why don't you come back to me?
Welcome, one and all. Is the mics on?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Because I forget to turn them on.
It's gonna help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Where
we
are
doing?
we?
What's this called? Oh, yeah. String Theory.
What night is this?
Wednesday.
Oh,
Happy Wednesday.
happy Wednesday, everybody.
We are live here on YouTube, as we have been for the past 27,000 weeks. And we are still coming back for more and more and more punishment.
And a little more.
And a little more.
Ready for some more?
Ready for some more?
How about now?
And as our beautiful Good Brothers music plays in the background, the Good Brothers,
Love the good
Canadian,
brothers.
god damn it.
Oh, Canada.
Boucher guitars, boys. Levy Straps, G&G Music, Fantasy Music, K&K Sound, Gallagher Guitars, Recording King Guitars, Alvarez, Yeri, Yamaha, Josh House Guitars, Apollo Picks, Tone Right, Close Guitars, the Opry Music Store up in Mirror Machine, New Brunswick, James Martin Instruments, Audio Sprockets, D'Addario, Brickhouse Guitars, Cody Guitars, incredible electrics made right down the road,
And
and a brand new partner, unbelievably. I hope this is even legal. I'm sure it is, but
they're doing it.
I just don't give a shit. A brand new partner signed on with us, Railway City Breweries in St. Thomas, Ontario.
ye freaking hot.
One of the nicest, one of the best microbrewed beers in Canada. They're just top notch, and they are actually sending us beer because I loved the beer so much I actually called them.
I'd never know you love beer.
I know, I hate it. And I think Ginger's enjoying one right now.
I think Ginger may be enjoying one right
And,
now as
what
we
is,
speak.
what type of Railway City Brewery beer do you have over there, Ginger?
It's an Iron Spike Copper Ale.
Yes, it's an Iron Spike.
I think I hear her pounding one back right now.
Yes, and I didn't actually have time to grab one myself. I'm enjoying a Peroni as we speak.
It certainly looks good over there.
We love you guys. We're so glad to be with you here. This is amazing, isn't it?
Sooner or later, the sponsor list is going to take longer than the show.
I know, but all
Right?
these, we can't leave any of these people out.
No.
They're these shops, builders, straps, pickups, all this technology that has been given to me through this channel.
It's the fabric.
It
of
is,
this business.
and it's just great gear, and I want everybody to know about it. And people are coming on board every day, and
beer sponsor.
What's that?
A beer sponsor.
Yeah, now there's a beer company wants
What the heck
to be
can
involved.
be next for this
Yeah.
channel?
Railway City Breweries in St. Thomas, Ontario.
South of London.
My hometown, London. My father was a carpenter and built things in St. Thomas, and took me down to Port Stanley Beach when I was a baby.
There you go.
Like that whole area down there, and there's a very interesting story about the Black Donnellys and the daughter escaping to St. Thomas, where she lived the rest of her life outside all of that craziness. And so that whole part of southern Ontario is just full of history and great stories, and so many good people up there. St.
And
Thomas.
it's just outside the rat race, so it's a little calmer over there.
It is.
Yeah.
I've loved playing in St. Thomas. Dave and I have played there multiple times in different venues. And Railway City, actually, I think, was involved in one of those. Because we played in the train station once. That's been converted into
The brewery.
no,
No?
I don't think so. I think it's been. Maybe I could be wrong about that. It's been a while since it was there, but anyhow, to suffice it to say that, there's so many people reaching out to us now because of all this, and
Because of you guys.
yeah, and it's just steadily. I just put a video out a couple days ago, which compared my Boucher, my Rocket, against the D41 Martin, which was provided to me by a very generous benefactor. And there's just people coming up everywhere going, we want to help you continue doing this, right?
Make your content. Yeah.
So, for Capo Corner, I got to tell this story. As you all know, Capo Corner is about capos.
Yeah. It's like one of these.
That's right. And the many ways in which we hear about people's acquisitions every day. Someone calls me and says, I just bought an L Series Yamaha. I just bought a Boucher. I just bought a Yeri. I just bought a Recording King. And it's just endless.
But this one is huge.
This one's quite huge.
This one's quite huge.
Just recently, in my opinion, the best bluegrass flat picker on the planet. His name is Jake Workman, and he plays guitar for Ricky Skaggs, and he bought a Rocket, an identical guitar to my Boucher, my BG52, with exactly the same, the Torrified Adirondack top, the 1 3/4 nut. It's a sister to my guitar. He bought that guitar took it out to Utah where he lives, and he sent me a video today out of the blue. I didn't even see it coming, and he was comparing his Boucher with his Collings, and wanting some advice, which I felt quite ill prepared to give because the man is just a goddamn monster player, and so him and I were back and forth all this afternoon. I just got off the phone with him like 5 minutes ago. He was almost going to come on the show with us, but he's teaching. He teaches online almost, obviously. Everybody wants to learn from him.
Yep.
And he has an online teaching service, live online lessons with people. And he is so busy with that. And he said, I have a student starting right at 7 o'clock, or I would do it. He was going to come on, and he may do it some Wednesday night. He'll call in and say hello to all of us. And if you don't know who Jake Workman is, find out, because he's just one of the best flat pickers that's ever lived.
He's a pinch of Ron Block.
Yeah.
He's a dollop of Dan Tominski.
Yep.
And he's a jug of Django.
That's right.
All stirred up together.
Yeah.
And shaped into a guitar.
That's right.
Yeah.
The guy is just absolutely incredible, and he's a super, super nice kid. Like, he's just a nice guy, right? He's a family man. He's just a super nice guy.
So he was saying that he's gotten different results from his Rocket.
Yeah.
Than your, I guess, a little more mature Rocket.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Mine's not that much more mature, just by a few months.
Yeah.
And I told him, we sent some videos back and forth. He sent me a video he texted me a video of him playing and asking me questions. And so I sent a video back of me playing my Rocket and my Doc Watson Gallagher.
Right.
As a comparative guitar. And the Bouchers, as I've said many, many times, they're so over the top that when you first get your hands on them, part of you is going, I don't know how to process this. I don't know how to process this kind of volume and midpoint and clarity, and it freaks you out, and it's freaking him out. Like, he's been playing, he loves this guitar, but he doesn't know if it's what he should be. He doesn't know what to do with it.
Right.
And he's going back to his Collings, which, in my opinion, and I told him, is a much darker kind of Martin-y, thumpy guitar.
Right.
A beautiful guitar. Collings is one of the best builders in the world.
And it's appropriate to the style he's playing.
Exactly.
Because it's got that fatter, plunkier sound.
So the Boucher, for him, playing with Skaggs, right?
Yeah.
It's going to really... I think when he figures out how to harness what the Boucher can do, it's going to take him, places he hasn't thought of.
He's going to definitely jump out with it a lot more.
Yeah. It's a guitar that just stands out of the mix.
Yeah.
No matter what you do. And it's not a subdued instrument at all, right? But a big thank you to Jake Workman, and just such a wonderful man. And You know, playing with one of the biggest bluegrass acts in the world, Skaggs, who I've met several times in my lifetime and played with him. Back when Cody Kilby was playing guitar with him, we did a show together at Center 200 for Celtic Colors, and it was a joyous experience. Skaggs was a true gentleman, and it's just so nice to see guys like Jake. That Ricky is giving guys like Jake the opportunity,
Right.
to work in that realm, because not many of us will ever get there, right? And Skaggs has always surrounded himself with the best players on the planet, and this is no different. You know, it's not just Jake. Like, everybody in that band is the best of the best,
I have
right?
to look forward to seeing a Northern Rocket.
I
Awesome.
hope Jake adopts it entirely and just goes, I'm a Boucher man.
Yeah,
He does love it. He does love it. So,
that's awesome.
anyhow, so there's our Capo corner.
That's a killer Capo corner.
Isn't that great? When we started this thing like nearly 2 years ago, we were sitting in the corner there talking about bullshit, and now we're talking about Jake Workman calling us, right? Like, it's just really, this has really gone
Over the top.
over the top. The first question tonight
Is-
goes to
Ginger, drum roll.
Not me.
Not you. Oh, okay.
It goes to Jeff Gallant.
Jeff Gallon. Jeff Gallon.
Happy Wednesday, sir.
He did a members highlight. It's a new thing for members. They can highlight how many months they've been a member of the channel.
There you go.
So he's been a member for 15 months.
Jeff has
Yep,
longer than I've been a member.
that's true. And he says, "Love the hats, gents. Looking spiffy."
JP's new carrot.
Jeff Gallant. He's been here forever. Jeff Gallant. He's got a nice lever. Jeff Gallant. I'm not sure where this is going.
No, we're good.
I'll stop right here.
Maybe we should just call him Lever from now.
Lever Gallant.
How's your lever, Jeff?
Oh dear.
Alrighty. So he had no question, just the announcement
He
of
just-
his status.
And he said, "Nice hats, looking spiffy."
Okay. Well, we love you, Jeff. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good to see you on a Wednesday night.
Who's
Connects.
next?
Which is now an emoji, by the way.
Connects.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I made connects emojis and string theory emojis. Now, YouTube only lets me make new emojis for members, so it's only going to work for the members.
Oh my God.
But if you write colon and then logo and colon, you get a string theory logo. And then
Wow.
Wow,
colon next colon, you get a connects logo.
Damn.
Now we're talking about colons on the channel.
Yes.
Lots of colons.
That can't be good.
This is all getting quite fancy, I think.
Very graphic.
Very graphic indeed. Next.
Oh dear. Is Darren Murray.
Darren Murray. Good to see you again.
He says, "Hey JP, really enjoyed the video with the Martin D41. What do you think of the AMI DT41, which is the Sigma version?"
Well, I'm a huge fan of Sigma. I got the DT45 here, and I'm actually going to run that against the real Martin at some point, because I know from playing both guitars that they are incredibly similar. Incredibly similar, which is a bit sad because the DT45 is only about $1,200.
Right.
The 41's $6,800. So it's a bit frightening. It's a bit frightening. The level of guitar of building quality that's coming out of these high-end Chinese shops. And I don't say factories, because there's no way they can build guitars like that in a factory. They're shops.
Yeah.
They might be large shops, or perhaps have 50, 60 employees, but they're shops. They're not treated. There's no way they can build guitars like that treated
On a line.
No, it's just not possible. So, yeah, I think the Sigma guitars, and I got to say this, and I should say I say it all the time now. You can't go by one person like me, my personal experience with one guitar. It just doesn't work that way. If you want any guitar, if it's a Martin, a Collings, a Boucher, a whatever, a Sigma, Yamaha, Yeri, you really need to go play it. You do. Because it might be a great guitar for me or someone else, but guitars are so subjective. And when you're getting into these heavy line factory guitars, right, these ones that are really pumped out by the thousands, they're not all the same.
Nope.
And they're not all good. So unless you're ordering a custom guitar from a bench luthier like Boucher, Collings, Bourgeois, Thompson, Huss, and Dalton, blah, 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 Collings, you can count on those guys to build you a guitar that's going to be absolutely friggin' brilliant. But if you're dealing with any way, shape, and form where the guitar is being mass-produced, and that takes in all those companies, Martin, Taylor, Gibson, Breedlove, anything that's mass-produced must be played before you buy it, because you just don't know.
Yeah.
And I can still have a lot of faith in those companies, which I do, but I still have to tell people, don't go by what I'm showing you. I have just been incredibly lucky in the last 2 years and never received a dud.
You got one.
I got one out of every guitar that I've ever got.
Dave got a dud from one of our favorite manufacturers.
From Stonebridge,
Yeah.
And that's one of the best builders in the world.
And they were great about it.
They were fantastic.
They took the guitar back and replaced it. And it was just because we could not get that guitar to sound right with the pickup in it.
No. And this is what people got to realize. Just because you have a fantastic D28 Martin does not mean I can walk into my local Long McQuaid and buy a D28 will blow my head off.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
They're a living thing.
And they continue to live after you buy them. So, the answer to that question is, I think Sigma makes amazing guitars, but make sure of what you're buying before you buy it.
Play it before you buy it.
That is the key.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing, and people do it all the time, and when they tell me, I get so angry because I just want to say, why did you do that? They go buy a guitar that I recommend, and it's a piece of shit. Well, duh. I've already said to you, you can't just order this through the mail.
You got to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then other people buy the same guitar, and it's a cannon, right? So you just have to be very careful, and you've got to if you want to order in a guitar like from Sigma, Recording King, like any company, right, that's mass producing them, get a shop that you have a relationship with, so that if you order it, like I have a great relationship with my local L&M, with G&G, Fantasy, these shops and Opry Music, all these shops would get a guitar in for me on speculation, whether I would buy it or not, right? That's the kind of relationship you want to start with a local shop. So that if you want to get a DT45 or 41, they'll bring it in, you go there, play it. Well, it's not what I thought it would be.
Not blowing my skirt up.
Or, oh my God, I love it, and you buy it. And there you go. And if that's the kind of relationship you have with that shop, if there's something wrong with it later, that shop will help you get it fixed.
Just look at you and I going into a shop and when you're shopping for a guitar, and the amount of guitars that we could go through in an afternoon, and how the variance is, and it's just plain that the characters are so wide and varied.
Yeah, on the same models.
On the same models.
Yeah, exactly. We've done it.
Yeah.
The same model guitar.
Yeah. Instantly apparent.
Yes.
And
really scary, actually.
Very,
it's like,
quite
wow.
scary, yeah.
How can it be that different?
Yeah.
Well, they are.
They are.
Because there's no consistency in machine-assisted guitar building. There's not. It loses its consistency because humans are taken out of the mix of some of it, right? Some of it, not all of it. But so yeah, it's buyer beware. That's a shitty term to use, but it's actually the truth. You really got to be conscious of what you're doing, what you're ordering. Have a good relationship with your local shop. You know, if you're near G&G or Fantasy or Opry, or if you can get a good relationship with the people that manage your local chain store, that's the key.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody should go try to do that.
Yeah.
They're not your enemies, especially the chain stores. Yes, they want to sell guitars, but they also don't want to deal with the problems of unhappy customers.
Right.
Right? So it's easier than you think to walk into a Long McQuaid, which I love Long McQuaid. They've been very good to me for 30 years. You walking along McQuaid, you go there all the time. The guys get to know you. They trust you. You trust them.
Some of our favorite crew are there.
That's right. So it's a lot easier than you think. Don't go into a music store. I see people do this all the time. Go into a music store, and they're basically combative. They're like they're trying to buy a car. You know what I mean? They treat the salespeople in the store like car salesmen. I don't try to upsell me on this. Don't try to do this. Blah, 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 blah. I only want this. That's the wrong way to go about it. You should go in there and tell them what you want. And if I get this and I don't like it, will you help me not be stuck with it?
Yeah. And those guys all will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, there's no one that will see you go away unhappy. They don't want that.
And it's not like if the guitar isn't for you, if it's not what you were looking for or you were hoping for, they're going to sell it to somebody else.
They are.
Because somebody else is going to...
Subjective.
It's
subjective.
so subjective.
A guitar that doesn't blow your skirt up might just be perfect for a guy who's maybe just beginning.
It might tickle your bird.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. There's a guitar. Every guitar has a home. And there's a person for every guitar.
There's one that has a home right next to the fireplace.
All right, so that was a long answer, but it's an important question.
A long answer to a different question, I think.
What's that?
It might have been a long answer to a different question.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Well,
I think we should go. Connect.
Next.
I'm enjoying a Connect right now.
I'm enjoying a Connect.
What are the fruit flies doing?
I don't know, but they seem to be quite
They
attached
like
to
the beer can.
Microphone.
Yeah.
We have a super chat
Yes.
from Isadora Lear.
Isadora
That's
Lear.
new.
Nope.
Isadora Lear?
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yamaha has an R&D/custom shop in California. Have you played anything from there?
Who is it now?
Yamaha.
I haven't heard of that.
Yamaha has a
Custom shop.
R&D/custom shop in California.
Really?
So she says.
I've never heard of that.
I haven't heard that they had one there either.
But with that being said, Yamaha USA is a completely different
Animal than the Yamaha Canada.
Yes, completely different.
Yeah.
There's a whole other set of whatever down there. Like there's just no connection somehow between the two, which is really weird to me because I sometimes think that the American market gets a little better stuff than us. Like there's more, like if that's true, if there's a research and development and custom shop in the United States for Yamaha, we don't have that here.
No.
We have to get our stuff directly from Japan.
Yeah.
Right? Hamamatsu does our stuff. Which in a way,
It's not a bad thing.
that's not a bad thing at all because the god of Yamaha is building those guitars, right? So yeah, that's very interesting. I'm going to look. Yeah, and I know, you know what? Some of the people that I've worked with in Yamaha Canada have moved to the United States division in L.A. They're stationed in L.A. And I know 3 guys that have Canadians that have left the Toronto office.
So it's quite possible.
Yeah, and been transferred down there.
Yeah.
So it's a huge
It's an
company.
entirely
Huge
different market
company,
down there,
huge
too.
company. Just humongous how big they are.
How huge is it?
How big is it, JP?
Well, it's so big you couldn't fit it easily into a small canister size.
It doesn't come in compact travel size.
No, it does
They won't
not.
fit into an overhead bin.
No,
is
they
what
won't.
you're saying.
No, they won't.
We have a question from Joe. It's actually a piece of trivia, I guess.
Okay.
From Joe.
Brother Joe.
And I'm going to mangle this name. Chris Tile?
Chris Teely.
Teely. Okay. Purchased a 1924 F5 Gibson mandolin. It was signed by the man who designed it and engineered it.
Yeah.
I will accept the man's name or how much Chris paid for it.
Lloyd Lohr.
There we go. It's not as
Lloyd Lohr.
tricky as
And
he
he
thought.
probably paid over $100,000 for it.
Booyah, Joe. Booyah.
Yeah, good one though. Yeah, I didn't know Teely, but I didn't know.
Nice try, Joe.
I knew he found one, but I didn't know he bought it. They're very rare, right? There's only a finite number of them. I think the last number that was out was there was 216 of them left. But I don't know if they're all owned. There's some of them that have not been discovered yet that they think are still in existence.
Still in play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some went back to Italy
Yeah.
with him, with Lore. Some went to Europe. Most stayed in the United States.
Some are
because-
in a 40-mile yard sale.
That's right. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I got to tell you a story.
It's story time, children.
Yes. Quick story. Ricky Skaggs, true story, was leaving a festival, and an old man walked up to him at his bus and said, I want you to have my mandolin, Ricky. I don't play it. I've had it for 40, 50 years, whatever it was. It's an old man, right? And it was in a really shitty cardboard, looked like just one of those piece of shit cardboard cases,
Yeah.
right? Hey, here you go. I just want you to have my mandolin. And Ricky's like, well, thank you so much, sir. And of course, Ricky, as a lot of these artists do, they get all kinds of shit from everybody. He didn't know. He took this mandolin case and threw it in the bay of the bus and left it there. Finished the tour, was parked the bus, went home after the tour, and went back to the bus later to get some of his things out of the bus. He opened the bay and he looked in the back. And now I've been told this story is true. I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but I've been told by a couple of people this actually happened that were close to him. So anyhow, he looks in the bay, sees the case, opens the case. It's a 23 lower. He has two of them, and that's how he got the second one. That's what I heard, and that is way inside the realm of possibility because I've heard of that kind of thing happening before. Our buddy Darren McMullen got his tenor banjo that way. Some woman walked up to him one night with a Gibson, like a banjo that's worth God knows what, and said, my husband had this and didn't play it, and I want you to have it. And when he opened this case, he near crapped in his pants.
It's the barn find of
musical
instruments.
It's just like finding a sports car.
Yeah.
It's like finding a Shelby Mustang, like somewhere, like whatever. And it's just it's insane what people give away because they don't know what it is, and it doesn't really matter to them anyway.
And that mandolin could have easily gotten thrown into the dumpster out of the belly of that tour bus, right?
Well, let's look at this for a second. Bill Monroe bought his 23 Lloyd Loar from a barber in Florida for $150.
Yeah.
$150. It was in the window of a barber shop getting destroyed by the sun.
Yeah.
And he walked in and looked at it and said, what is that? What is
Give
that?
you $10 for that.
Yeah. He said, I'd like to get 150. It is a Gibson, and Bill was like, this is I think it was in 1949 or 50 when he bought that mandolin. That mandolin now is worth $2.5 million.
Yeah.
It's in the Smithsonian. The most famous mandolin of all time. And I played that mandolin, and it was a cannon. Because he played it so much.
Right.
It was so wide open that it just deafened you. If he played it standing beside you, you were just like leaning back, right? Because your ear was coming off.
Exploding.
Right? Yeah. So it just goes to show. It doesn't matter where you can find things in the weirdest places. Yeah.
We have a super chat from Jasper North.
Jasper North.
Jasper North.
That's not new.
No, it's not.
No.
Jasper North is my buddy. I'm talking a lot on YouTube.
Oh, yeah? So he says, heard about the Elliott Capo, handmade.
Yeah.
And then he says the Elite Capo, or it might be a typo, it's $175 US. Shipping cost depends on the method of delivery chosen.
Mouth of a German Shepherd.
Yeah. So what's the question?
Have you heard about this capo, I guess?
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
$175 for a capo?
Oh, yeah. I've got $125 capos in this room.
Really?
And I'm going to tell you something. As much as I love some of the capos that I use that are incredibly good capos, There's a G7 capo. I'm talking about these type of capos. This capo here was designed by Dan Crary. I use this on my 12 string for 20 years, and it still works. Mm-hmm. But this is the type of capo that an Elliott is. It's a screw back locking platform, like so, right?
Stays captive on the neck most of the time.
Yeah, and it just you slide it above the nut if your guitar doesn't have a volute.
Right.
If it has a diamond in the back, you can't get this over the diamond,
nut, yeah.
right? So, I've got that. I've got G7 makes a wicked one. Shub makes a wicked one. It's $150. They're gorgeous. I've got Pages that are $75. I've got all kinds of things. And you know what my favorite capo is to this day?
Kaiser.
That's correct. Kaiser is my favorite capo. I have them all over the house, and they're in a lot of my cases. Probably 80% of my cases have a Kaiser in them. And you know why? Because they always work. There is no adjustment. There is no finicky trying to get this just behind the fret just right.
Yeah.
The tension. It's a half-inch wide piece of hard rubber that goes right behind the fret. Boom, you're done. It doesn't take the guitar out of tune, and it stores on the headstock. It's not in my pocket. And when they wear out, you go buy another one for $22.
Right. And if you leave it hanging on the mic stand after a gig and walk
Doesn't
away,
matter.
it's $22.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, do these capos with this, because what these guys say is that, there's so many things. The first thing they say is that the alloy that they use in this structure here, right, and inside this, which is a rubber, it's just a rubber tube,
yeah.
right? So they say that this alloy is impervious to picking up sound. It rejects vibration, which is bullshit. There's no such. There is no.
I would have
such-
to call bullshit on that.
Yeah, there is
doesn't
no
make
such
sense.
metal that can completely reject vibration. And if it could, that would mean that the capo would be totally silent. There's no, you don't lose any neck volume from it, right? Okay, that's first thing. The second thing they say is that this mechanism, which is basically the same on every single brand, this mechanism is capable of, with this, this one little nut here, whatever it might be, is capable of putting 100% even pressure across all 6 strings.
JP, that would be bullshit.
Yes, that also is bullshit. But do these capos work? Absolutely, they do. They sound good. They are low profile. You don't really see them when they're on the guitar, but the amount of time it takes to get this on the neck of your guitar, fasten that, screw it. Yeah. Oh, I got it too tight. You got to back it off, and holy crap! The Kaiser goes boom, done. I'm done. And it doesn't make. I have never seen one bit of tonal difference between this structure and the clothespin of a Kaiser. None.
Yeah.
Not one. And the only reason I have all these... and here's another one. This is a beautiful capo. This is a D'Addario product. Same idea. So low profile. It's a screw back. It's a tension screw here. Goes over the neck, and you just tighten it. Boom, it's done.
It's a very close relative to the shove.
Exactly. Yeah. The shub is the same idea, only with a lever.
Yeah.
The shub is a great capo.
I like the shub.
I do too.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
And they're indestructible.
Yeah.
Even this rubber will last you 10 years until you put another one on it.
Yeah.
This will never go out of style, right?
Yeah.
Or out
and
of
they don't
function.
tend to move around, even if you bump them.
They don't.
Yeah.
And
That's one thing about the Kaiser is that it's a bit gangly.
Yeah.
And if you do bump it, it's going off.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing in some situations as well.
One of the things you have to worry about with capos is that not every neck is radiused the same.
Right.
right?
Yeah, they're all different.
So if you have a weird radius on the neck of your guitar, and the other thing is this. Here's another thing I hate about these, and Shub fixed it. Shub started to make a wider capo so that you could capo above the 5th fret.
Right.
Because the neck is too wide for this to go above the 5th fret.
Yeah.
And if you try to ram it up there without thinking, you've just torn the sides off your neck. You're scraping the whole... Like, that's just ridiculous. Again, the Kaiser doesn't do any of that.
You can buy the Shubs in different
That's
sizes
right.
for 6-string, 12-string.
Yep. Extra wide
fretboard.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, again, Shub knocked it out of the park with their version of this page style capo, right? They made an extra wide one. It's super light. It's very nice looking, and they use the same kind of a polymer in this pad that they use on these, and it's indestructible.
Doesn't get cut up.
You know what the difference is between this and pages? And like, they use a hard plastic, right? The Shub and Kaiser is just like the flesh of your finger. That's why they sound so good. Your finger is not made out of hard rubber and steel. It's made out of flesh.
Right.
So when you put that capo,
You're smart ass back
when you put that capo on, you're putting 6 fingers across there, right? That's why these things sound so good.
Well, and a lot of the proponents of the page style will say, well, you get even pressure right across the neck, which you don't with a Shub or a Kaiser.
Yeah,
but you don't get even pressure with your hand either,
No.
coming around from one side.
I think the Kaiser is the most even pressure of anything I've ever used. The Shub, oh boy, the Shub is deadly, beautiful working mechanism, but it will often stretch sharp the big E string, right?
I found this out behind the
Yes,
behind the step.
that
on
would
the way
be
in.
the Crown Royal limited edition,
10-year.
10 years old.
A little hey, how you doing on a Wednesday night
Yeah.
from my brother here.
That's right, just from my brother.
I'm gonna enjoy one right now.
One other question over
Yeah,
there?
that's
Can you hear that, Jeff?
Can you hear that, Jeff? Yes.
Oh, Cam should hear that.
Yeah, Cam should hear
No,
this.
he's here too.
Oh, Cam. Ooh, I'm gonna enjoy it for you right now. Oh yeah.
Is he good?
Oh, that is. You need to try that.
Stellar.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Ken next.
We have a super chat from Colin Doolin.
Colin Doolin. Good to see you again, buddy.
Is it bad to have guitars exposed to direct sunlight?
Absolutely. You should never expose guitars to direct sunlight, ever.
Now, qualify direct sunlight.
Your guitar in a stand with the sun coming through the window, blaring
Beating
on
on
it for
it,
more than an hour.
Yeah. That doesn't mean like play it only at night in a dark room.
Yeah, no. If your guitars are in your house in a stand somewhere, and by the natural rotation or passing by of the sun, the guitar is exposed to the sun through glass.
Yeah.
For more than a couple hours, that is a bad thing.
Yeah. The glass will take the UV, a lot of the UV out of it,
But not the
still,
heat. It'll magnify the heat.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll bleach it over time.
It bleaches guitars. It will cause the top to malform.
Yeah. Crack.
Either crack or hump or belly. It's heat that the guitar does not need. So, like, even playing outside in a festival in direct sunlight is not that good. To stand up on stage, if the sun is blaring on you for 45 or 50 minutes, it's not good for the guitar.
No.
I've walked off the stage and my guitar the finish was sticky. It was that hot.
Yeah.
And that's just not good. You'd never expose a guitar to direct sunlight on a regular basis that lasts for more than an hour, or because, I mean, if it was a guitar laying here on this table and the sun comes through here all day long.
Yeah, beating on it.
Oh, yeah. The guitar would be toast
Yeah.
in a week, right? So, yeah, keep her shaded, keep her in the case.
Keep it humidified.
Keep it humidified or dehumidified, depending on what your situation is. Be very careful of that. And there you go.
Yep.
Next!
We have a super chat from Jim Hanlon.
Jim, Hanlon. Why does that name seem
The
familiar?
Machine. He's supposed to be coming here at
That
some point.
name
Isn't he the
seem
bastard?
Jim Hanlon. Jim Hanlon.
What's he saying?
Jim Hanlon.
He just says, I suspect Kaiser will be a new sponsor next week.
They can come on if they want.
Yeah.
We love them. I love Kaiser.
They can kiss our rubber cable.
I love Shub.
Yeah.
I love Shub capos. I love Kaiser capos. I love everything by D'Addario. Like D'Addario's gets such a great list of gear.
Mm-hmm.
I use all of their things. I use their picks. I use their capos.
Their tip jars.
Their tip jars. Their cables. Their all that shit. But Kaiser, I've got Kaisers on almost every guitar I've got, and I've got Shubs around. I use only a Shub for my banjo.
Yeah.
That's a Shub banjo capo, and it's beautiful. This thing is the best banjo capo you can use, the Shub. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Happy Wednesday, Jimmy.
And next,
We have a super chat from Cam.
from Cam McMaster.
Cam Disaster, Mr. Potato Head.
Cam McMaster.
Be with us on the show.
Cam McMaster.
Where he is, we don't know.
Cam McMaster. He's everywhere you go. Cam McMaster stepped on his big toe.
And that's a big toe, folks. Cam, buddy.
He says, Chris, could you demonstrate one more time how to enjoy that?
Well, Cam, I'm going to enjoy it right now for you. How was that?
That's
pretty
perfect.
good.
That was perfect.
Happy Wednesday, Cam. That's yummy.
We have a question from Eli Patrick Music.
Eli Patrick Music.
Formerly.
Bluegrass. For all you guys who don't know, Eli Patrick is one hell of a picker. And he's 17.
We were watching his videos last week after the show.
I'm going to tell you something right now. Me and Chris talked about this. We ended up texting him back and forth last week.
Yeah.
That kid is a major talent. A major talent.
He blew our minds.
Yeah. And he's in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most beautiful states in the Union. I've played there many times. Mm-hmm. And he's just a young Southern gentleman, that kid. And can he ever play?
And we are going down there.
Yeah, we're going down
to
there.
search him out when things get under control with the situation.
Yep. And we got a close friend down there. We got Eddie Poirier's son is there, Terry.
We've got other close friends in Lexington too.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So, Eli,
if you haven't gone to see Eli's YouTube page, go and subscribe.
Now. Log off us right now and go directly to. Oh wait,
that's right.
Wait. Okay, hang on. Maybe in 17 minutes, log off us and go to Eli.
Wait 17 minutes. Go see Eli Patrick Music.
Yeah.
We love you, boy. You're awesome. What's he got over there?
I actually forgot. I didn't actually read his question.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Hello, all. Have you ever owned or played an Ovation country artist? And if so, what are your thoughts on it in general, and particularly for playing Jerry Reed music?
I've never had one, but as I've said before on the channel, and I'll just suffice it to say that I love Ovations. I'm actually thinking about getting another one.
You haven't had one in
I haven't had one for a while, and I when I don't have one in the stable, it bothers me because they're so useful in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I had a beautiful custom an LX custom Legend that I had Doug Sampson widen the nut spacing for me because they don't take advantage of the full
width.
And that guitar was deadly. And every time I buy one though, they're worth nothing in trades.
No.
It's really sad.
They do get a bad rap.
They do. And you know what I just realized?
What are you just realizing?
Yesterday, there was a big conversation online about the fact that Tony Rice recorded most of Manzanita, the whole album, with an Ovation.
Baloney.
And all of Backwaters. That is a fact. He was an Ovation endorsee.
Right.
And his brother Wyatt still plays one. There's a video right now of a tribute. Mm-hmm. Him and Richard Bennett who has his own Boucher model, on stage, him playing a custom Legend.
I always like them plugged in on a stage.
Yeah.
They cut in a mix.
Yep.
And you can pop them out on top.
Yep.
But I wouldn't say I'd have a great use for it recording acoustically.
Yeah, but I would, because they fill a niche in the sonic image that no other guitar fills.
Their unique sound.
They are, yeah. If you want something that's really kind of, in a space that's above where most acoustic guitars sit.
I would call that almost too much information. That's what, when I listen, hear that, that sound in my head, there's just too much. Yeah, you got to dial it all back, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of finesse. But that lack of finesse
is penetration, though.
Is penetration.
It has penetration
at a live show. Yeah.
And it has a lot of wood in it for a guitar that only has a wooden top. It's got a real fat tone in front of a microphone. And I've just always loved them. I've said this a million times on my channel. I love Ovations, and there's a company I'd like to get involved with this. I think people, as much as they kind of shit on Ovation, they all kind of secretly want one because they're cool. Yeah. They're so cool. They're an indestructible kind of guitar. They're like close.
I never knew why they didn't do one with a reverse.
They do. They did.
That's to fit your belly.
The last one I had is called the Contour Bowl.
Yeah.
It has a groove for your gut. It has a gut groove.
Because they always had the rounded back.
Now, mind you, right? Now, the close guitars. Close guitars have beat the system because they made an entirely carbon guitar.
Yeah. It does not sound like a carbon guitar.
No, it doesn't. And it's got a flat back.
Yeah.
And this thing is deadly.
I'd like to see that stacked against an Ovation.
Oh, it would eat an Ovation.
I'd like to hear
I think it would
difference.
eat an Ovation because the technology is different. It's not fair to put, because Ovation's not a graphite or a carbon instrument, really. It's a wooden top with a Kevlar bowl.
Well,
right?
It's all resin, really.
This is all carbon fiber technology, the whole entire body, and the way that they did it. I'm not sure how they managed this, really. It's a beautiful sounding guitar.
We've got a friend with an Ovation. We should grab it and do a little AD.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, people. I think that people, and this is unfortunate. I think a lot of people, and I was like this myself at one time. I think a lot of people pretend to be guitar snobs, so they don't look bad in front of their buddies, right? It's like my brother was a biker, so he only drove Harleys. He used to run with some of the gangs that were around, and that they weren't serious, like they weren't criminals or anything, but there was some major bike clubs in Ontario.
He was barking with the big dogs.
He was barking with the big dogs, and he drove a Super Glide Harley, and he used to say to me all the time, "Well, you can drive a Honda if you want, but just make sure nobody sees you." Like that was. And that's the way people are by guitars. Yeah, they look at a guy playing, like they're holding a D28, and they're looking at a guy playing a custom Legend Ovation, and they're like, "Wow, that thing's pretty. That sounds pretty cool." And then they play it, and they're like, "This neck's like an electric," but they would never admit it that they even ever thought of that, or any other guitar. You know what I mean? Or they play a Gibson, or they play a Taylor.
It's like going bowling, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Going bowling?
Well, I don't bowl personally, but I've heard that it's like going bowling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Next.
Oh dear. We have a super chat from Jason McCallum.
Jason McCallum. Know that name?
Talk to us about your thoughts and experiences with Larrivée guitars.
I've gone through this before, and there's nothing for me to say about Larrivée except they make great guitars. They're a Canadian company. They're mostly based in the United States now, as far as I know. They moved most of their shop to California. I'm a big fan of John and his early work. Mm-hmm. His early guitars were among the best in the world.
I have one of his early
you do?
works.
His wife is possibly one of the most talented inlay artists ever to draw a sketch and inlay it. And I'm just not a fan of what they do, but it has nothing to do with the quality or the sound of the guitars. It has to do with the physicality of the instruments. For me, I don't like the shape of his necks, and I don't like the playability of the guitars, and they're all the same. Mm-hmm. There's some mathematics that he uses that I don't personally get along with. It doesn't mean they're wrong.
No.
It just means my physicality.
It's an ergonomic.
It's an ergonomic thing.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. And that's why I don't own one or play one.
Yeah.
But
our brother Dave Gunning played his for years.
Yep.
And years.
Yep.
And then I took it so it didn't go to the family.
Yep. And I'll tell you, there's nobody. I would never tell anyone.
We keeping you up?
Yeah, probably. I would never tell anyone not to buy a Larrivée.
No.
You just can't. They're a Canadian product, no matter where they're built. And John gave birth to some of the greatest builders in the country, like Grit Laskin, Linda Manzer. There's so many builders in Canada that were influenced and taught by him. And you just got to give it to him. If I could have a Larrivée that was built by John and his wife, that is an instrument I would play. Mm-hmm. Even if I didn't get along with it, I'd make it work.
You'd beat it into submission.
I would beat it into submission.
Yeah.
But I've owned them in the past. I've owned several. One really high end one. I can't remember the model of it, but a couple of lower model. They were all awesome guitars. They just didn't fit my left hand ergonomically. And I don't even know, I can't even put my finger on why. All I always tell people is his necks feel sharp to me. There's an edge on them somehow that I don't like the feel of.
If you think, I don't say it in any bad way at all towards a Larrivée guitar, but I've seen a lot of females playing Larrivées, and they sound spectacular.
Yeah.
And I think girls like them because maybe they're a little daintier in some ways.
Yeah.
Right?
Could be. I never really thought about it, but I'll tell you one thing, too, also I should mention. Their bluegrass guitar, their dreadnought, their herringbone, it's designed for bluegrass. Mm-hmm. Deadly guitar. Just a beautiful instrument. But again, the neck don't feel like I'd like it to. But it doesn't matter. The sound of it. Whoa.
Yeah, they do make a nice sound.
They make a beautiful guitar. Yeah. And John Larrivée, by all accounts that I've never met the man, but by all accounts, I've never, everyone says he's a saint. Mm-hmm. Like he's a beautiful human being, John Larrivée. So here's the Canadian guitar builders, man.
Here's the Larrivée.
There's a John
Canadian
Larrivée
guitars.
And all of his students and all of his emulators, right? Mm-hmm. That's why we get great guitars, is because of guys like John Larrivée.
Yeah.
Right?
He's done a lot for
he was
Canadian
the granddaddy of builders here, right? There wouldn't be a Laskin. There wouldn't be any of these people without John. Mm-hmm. John started it all. And some of the people in Quebec, Normand, and the people, Godin, those people were building back. They were working in the 60s, right? Same thing with John. John was building guitars in the mid 70s, and early in a small shop, right? So it's incredible. It's incredible all that lineage and legacy and heritage comes from one man. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
He's our Martin.
He's the Canadian Martin.
Yeah, he's the Canadian Martin, right? He's the one builder in the country that influenced everyone and stayed around to become a huge corporation, right? So
he influenced Morgan's.
he did. Dave
In a
Iannone.
big way.
Big, yeah.
He influenced
All of them.
Morgan
All those
guitars.
guys.
Yeah.
You look at you look even Otis Thomas. Otis Thomas, I'm sure, was influenced by Larrivée early on.
Yeah.
Because John used to use, circular geometry to figure out what his guitar angles were, right? And that's in all these builders.
Yeah.
You can tell instantly by looking at a Alaskan or a Manzer.
Yeah.
And you see, holy shit, that's John. That's John's design.
That,
you know
that geometry is.
Beneteau, another great builder who was up in St. Thomas.
Yeah.
He credits Larrivée with his, being influenced and inspired by Larrivée, right? And Beneteau is a monster builder, just incredible. Mark Beneteau, his name. Me and Dave were in his shop the last time we were in St. Thomas. They took us over there. He was incredible. What a guy. Anyhow, next. We're getting close to the end, so we better get the rest of the super chats going.
We have a super chat from Cam.
Cam McMaster.
JP, how do you feel about the guitar players out there that say that people who use capos don't know how to play properly? And kudos to Eli Patrick.
People that say that people who use capos don't know how to play properly?
Correct.
Well, clearly they've never had a gig.
Yeah.
Connect?
Yeah. A capo is as important as the microphone.
Yeah, well, so you're going to tell Gordon Lightfoot that he can't play, and Bob Dylan and Leonard Cohen and Ian Tyson and Tony Rice and Doc Watson and Norman Blake and Dan Crary and Chet Atkins and Jethro Burns and
all
shit.
of them.
Every guitar player in the fucking world is using a capo.
It's not a crutch.
It's not a crutch.
It changes the entire sound and character of the instrument.
It has nothing to do with not being able to play the chords there.
No.
The reason you do it is because you want a voicing that matches the song and matches the potential vocal harmonies and allows you to play a solo in the register you want to play in. I can play every song I play with no capo.
Right.
But I choose not to because it's a lot better for the song.
It would be pretty damn boring.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people who think that, bite it. Okay, go ahead. Next.
We have a super chat from Larry Reindress.
Larry Reindress. Larry Reindress. Larry Reindress. Larry Reindress.
He's here.
Almost last. Larry Reindress.
You better move fast.
Larry Reindress. He's almost last. Larry Reindress.
We'd almost kiss your
ass.
Happy Wednesday, Larry.
Oh, dear.
Good to hear his name.
Good lyrics. Chris is on the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. How do I contact Chris to have K&K pickups installed in 2 of my guitars?
That's a good question.
That is a good
Get
question.
him to email you, JP?
Because he can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Get an email you want to use, or
Well, just use your email, and we're all in the same
Send it
house.
over.
just send the request to jpcormier38@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And I'll forward it to him, and he can sort. Yeah. He does work from all over the world. You just sent speakers back to Australia, didn't you?
Yes, I did last week. Yeah.
He gets repair jobs from all over the planet. So I'm sure.
Say that again, just like you just said.
More
He
JP,
gets
though.
repair jobs from all over the planet.
Put a little more
But go
JP
full
onto
JP.
it.
He gets repair jobs from all over the planet, eh?
Do you have an open pack? Because
No, I don't.
I'm just gonna. You didn't do it quite.
gotta add
It's
some
more
more.
like he gets repair jobs from all over the planet, eh? Wicked. I love you.
I love you too. So jpcormier38@gmail.com. Yeah, we'll get you
Send him an email.
We'll get you hooked up.
We'll email around.
Who's left?
Oh, dear. We have super chat from Jeff. He says, I think you two should talk to Close about making a carbon fiber flying V acoustic for you. Boucher doesn't seem to want to do it.
Jeff is not going to be happy until there's a flying V acoustic.
Well, guess what? Who has one?
Yeah.
Eli Patrick
has one.
That's how I found out how wicked his guitar playing is, because he has a Dean.
Yeah.
I think it's a Dean.
I think it is.
A black Dean flying V acoustic.
So, Jeff, to get your fill, This is your prescription.
Eli Patrick Music.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
If you got a fever for an acoustic flying V,
subscribe.
Eli Patrick.
Yeah, man.
He'll do it for you.
Next.
Another super chat from Cam.
Yes, sir.
He says, just to be clear, I don't think that, and I'm sorry for the blood pressure spike.
Next. Anybody else?
That's the end of this super chat.
Okay. All right, boys. Well, here we go. Gonna get 2 more names on our list for the mega super ultimate beauty pretty giant nail draw.
Super draw.
Super draw.
With a sound system that'll blow you away.
I'm starting. Yes, I'm starting to get some hints and reports from the 3 stores of what's going to be in this prize. And so far,
is there beer in it?
There's a guitar in one.
No beer.
For sure, for one. There's already 1 guitar in the super prize. So we're just, it's going to be friggin' ridiculous how big this prize is.
There's a whole PA and a light show as well.
Yes. And so the question tonight is based upon my deep and abiding love for this company. The Gallagher Guitar Company. Doc Watson was my hero, and I have 2 of these in the house. I cherish them greatly, and I'm about to do a review of this one. This is the actual Doc Watson model Gallagher guitar. So the question this week is, the kindly old gentleman that started this company, built this guitars, he was a furniture builder who decided to switch to building guitars, and thank God he did. His first name was initials, like mine. So what was Mr. Gallagher's first name?
Holy diabolical.
What was Mr. Gallagher's first name? I'll accept the initials he used as his first name.
We could be here all night.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm just going to let a few answers come in here.
Okay.
Is it JW?
Yes, it is.
J.W. Peppa.
J.W. Gallagher.
Sheriff.
All right, so
J.W.
the
Gallagher.
first one on my screen is Eli Patrick Music.
All right, Eli.
Good job,
Eli
brother.
Patrick Music. We got your email for sure. Not even going to bother calling it out. I do it all the time, so you don't need to email us. We'll find you. When the draw comes up, we'll find you.
We know where you live.
Yeah. Who's the second one?
And the second one is Cam.
Cam McMaster's not on the list either. All right.
Ooh, that's 2 heavyweights up on the...
That's 2 heavyweights.
On the block this week.
So this is going to get kind of...
Did you write Mr. Potato Head there?
So... As Ginger cues the music, and we never even said Ginger was in the house.
Oh, well, I'm here.
They know she's in the house.
I know, but she's lovely, Ginger.
She's right over there.
She's lovely, Ginger. She is the light of my life.
Our cinnamon girl.
The cinnamon light of my life.
She's the light of our lives.
She is, yeah. Mine more so, I think.
Well, currently. You married her.
Is there something going to change?
I love her, but I mean, you married her.
As Ginger starts the music, I'm going to try this whiskey.
You do.
Ooh, there's just enough left in there.
Just a little taste. Cheers, everyone. Stay safe.
Oh my God.
Are you enjoying it right now?
I'm enjoying it right now.
It's pretty yummy.
Yes, it is.
Very yummy.
Amazing.
Oh, she's getting pretty close with that thing.
Yeah, she
I'm
is.
getting a little nervous.
Thank you for being here with us on String Theory.
See you next Wednesday. Maybe.
We love you. We love you.
Oh.
We love you.
Yeah, I think. I'm getting kind of nervous.